Welcome back to the Sophia D Radio Show. It's our season finale. 2022 is about to come up, and let me tell you something. We got a lineup for next year.
Yes.
Listen, don't forget to purchase your Sophia D Radio t-shirts for $20. We would love for you to purchase one. If you're going out of town for the holidays, wear it, represent us, let the people know what we do in the upstate of South Carolina.
Legends.
And to conclude our 2021, let me tell you something. Y'all see this handsome fella right here? This is my other baby. I know I got a lot of babies, but this guy, passion, hunger, a legend,
Wow.
and just an overall good person. Just a jewel. I don't even know if you can call men jewels, but he's my jewel, and I love him so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Sophia D Radio Show, the one and only Shemuel. I call him Shim. I can only do that.
Yeah.
How are you? Have you been staying busy?
I have been staying very busy. Busy. Wow. The schedule is definitely filled
Yeah,
up.
I know, cause you. I thought we was busy.
Yeah.
I think you got us beat, cause you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I'm in that stage now where I'm recognizing, is this a trauma response on how hard I work?
Mm-hmm.
And that, it's a real question, that I'm having of myself. But the things that I do, I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your enjoyment shows with your business and how you plan. So
Right.
my question is, how did your passion start for business and marketing and networking? Because I swear you are deep in these streets. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to your level
I'm
when
in
I
these
get
streets.
25 again.
I would say that actually probably came from my grandparents. My granddad had a barbershop for many years.
Oh, nice.
50 years, God bless his soul.
Yes.
My grandma really ran the shop. You know how that is.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And for a young age, I just saw a man working hard. He had rheumatoid arthritis, so his hands would swell and his knees would swell, and he couldn't cut hair anymore. But the business still ran, and he would always get up as if he was going to cut hair. And I guess as a kid, it just made a profound impact on me. When he passed, you can see at the funeral, there were so many people talked about how much he meant to them through the trade that he had. And I was at Upstate at the time. I was 23, and I remember thinking, at the time I wanted to be an attorney. And
Oh, I can see that.
I wanted to be an attorney, and I just did not like reading all those books.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to do something more impactful, and I changed my minor from history minor to nonprofit administration. And I said, well, I'm going to get into community work.
Yeah.
And from that point on, all of my skills start to reveal themselves.
Shout out to USC Upstate.
Yeah.
Well, that's some stomping grounds right there.
That Miami Hurricanes got at us for throwing up the U, but we still throw up the U.
I'll do the U in sign language. Or I think I have to show my hand. I don't think they don't read it back. I think I got to read it like.
Go Spartans.
Yeah, go Spartans. Yes. I actually want to fund a radio broadcasting studio for.
Oh, you should.
Yes, I want to do that.
Definitely. This is a legend in black media.
Yes.
Pay your respects.
Listen.
Understand what's going on here. You don't get a decade strong being wrong. You feel me? I just gave you some bars.
Thank you.
I'm staying contained right now.
Look, I'm gonna call Chancellor here. Hey, I got the check ready. What we gonna do? How we gonna
Get
do
my
this?
girl right.
And you can name it after me.
Yes,
and
Sophia D.
We need Shim and Calvin and Tony.
Akata Visions
Listen.
Are producing our ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes. Chancellor Harris, we're gonna have to talk about this, sir.
Okay.
Have you seen a spike in your business during the pandemic? I know
I
we're
would
still kind
say
of in it.
funny, yes. I'm managing Midtown Lounge, which is a nightclub slash lounge slash restaurant downtown Spartanburg. Unique business for its kind in Spartanburg. And during the pandemic, actually, you could tell people wanted something still to do in a safe place. So, we had a lot of challenges to make that happen in that space. However, we are resilient, and due to that resilience, I think we got a lot of respect from people on the ground. And it fueled also our entertainment side with Top Chef Entertainment. We saw the growth of like Trille out of Gaffney. We see the growth of Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy
who
Lee,
was on
yes.
the show this season.
Yes.
We've seen the growth of those particular artists during this time. As a matter of fact, I started working with Pig LaDon Jackson probably at the edge right before the quarantine started to happen, like October 2019. And we had a lot of plans for the label. I come in on the marketing, with display marketing. I have a few clients. Adam Black is a client as well. We, Adam Black and myself built Akata Visions, and we're opening it up for other photographers because what we do is document and provide a backdrop to whatever the idea that you have, right? So, LaDon Jackson reached out to me due to some referrals throughout the community, seeing that I was doing previously before the pandemic. And he said, listen, I have an idea. This is my label. These are my artists. Help me get this thing and envision it the way I see it. So, we didn't see the quarantine and the pandemic happening, but on the ground, we did so much work in Atlanta, Charlotte. These places were still kind of open in a way, and they still want to see our artists, so we had to figure it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Adam Black, and I needed to say this at the beginning of the interview, because if not, he coming for me. We're in the Lens of Adam Black studio, y'all.
Lens of Adam
Studios. This is
check those reels.
This is real.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam Black.
This is community. It really is a community of different levels, and I'm a big student of building multi-level.
Yeah.
Not saying someone's above another, but they have different resources that can continue to propel everybody's careers. And I've been working with Adam Black since 2017, and there's a famous DM email that I have, and I just emailed him. I said, listen, bro, I don't have no bread to pay what I know you're worth at that time. Yeah. I said, but however, we can help expand your brand and your visibility, because at the time I knew him as a hip hop artist. I had just gotten his CD randomly, like at a barbershop or something. Like he was just going around just handing them. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And I saw him on social media, on Facebook popping up, and I was like, oh, this guy worked like me, kind of.
Yeah.
If not harder. So I reached out. So he reached out to me about the photographer. I posted on Facebook. I was like, yo, I need a photographer to just basically document what's going on. Because I just knew there was going to be some changes. And he was one of the first ones to reach out. He'll always share my posts. He'll always comment. And I was like, Kendrick energy. And you can see the evolution from 2017 to 2021. This is work, and we're in his studio, giving us an opportunity to do what we do.
Love you, Adam Black.
Community.
And shout out to his manager, because I can't forget her. That's my baby, for
Felicia
real.
thinks.
Felicia
thinks.
Oh, that's my.
Nobody cares what Felicia thinks.
Because this is her final word at the end of the day.
It is.
And she's my sister, and I just, whatever she say, I just do it. Ain't no ifs and buts, and I'm not gonna fight you. Okay, sure, whatever, Felicia. You want it today? Felicia. Okay.
She's the best.
She tried not to laugh in the back. She know we're telling the truth.
Yeah, she's trying to hold the laughter in, but her face is turning pink and red.
When Tony turn this camera off, we gonna keep it. Oh,
you got to blooper it.
Thank you, Adam Black. We love you so much, and I'm sure he's gonna pop in on this interview, because he's made it very clear in multiple interviews. He just
that he'll just pop up.
So I do want to know, how did you get involved with Top Shelf Entertainment? Because they are just doing some wonderful things
Right.
with their artists. Jimmy Lee is
Right.
just really,
Right.
really blowing up
Right.
in remarkable ways.
Right.
So how did that relationship start?
Well, the strength of a referral, really.
Mm.
I was doing a lot of work with Tracks on Deck, who is our DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Trax has a relationship with LaDon, Pig Jackson, prior
Mm-hmm.
from other work, music work and whatnot. Trax writes music, produces beats, things like that. He's a DJ, obviously. So he's DJ'd at parties for LaDon. And, I guess a lot of people have been in his ear. He's a Virgo, so, Virgos don't move too fast. Virgos have to feel the area and see what's going on. And I started in collaboration with Curtis Dawkins at the local brand Outfitters. We did a festival in 2018 called Sly Weekend. It featured on Fridays. It was a networking mixer at Ritzy Styles, downtown Spartanburg, South Carolina. And it featured Respect and Salute, if JJ Day,
JJ.
Trax was the DJ. Who else performed? I want to say Jabes. They had They had a table set up in there, and super dope networking section. The next day is that Saturday. We had a card show out at the Piedmont Fairgrounds, and I booked El Breezy to perform at the Saturday show, which was his son. I'm just booking artists, like artists come on the stage. El Breezy at the time, I want to say, was like 9 years old. And I saw this kid rapping about his A's and B's. And I'm like, yo, this kid is really smart. He could really rap.
Yeah.
And he's fearless as well. So, Jimmy Lee, I knew Jimmy Lee in the passing at that time. But every time I would see Jimmy Lee, he'd be like, you need to talk to Pig. You need to talk to Pig. I'm not a guy that's like, want to hound another man. I still have that masculine energy about myself. So, I just waited, and for some reason, I reached out to him as being a photographer first, through the lens, which I learned, through Calvin. And he started seeing my content that I was creating, and he was like, yo, let's expand your job a little bit, because I guess other people were coming to him about the work I was already doing. And he saw that, yo, I'm doing something similar, but maybe on a wider scale. Help me articulate what we got going on. So 2019, between 2017 and 2019 are very pivotal moments in what we are doing now.
So you were talking about the 9-year-old rapping about his A's and B's and
El Breezy
being, fearless, but do you think you're fearless at what you do?
I definitely am, to a point where, again, sometimes I have to think to myself, is it trauma response again? Because I've been through a lot in my life. You know what I mean? A lot of people, my close friends, really know, how hard, the past few years have been.
Oh yeah.
And for many people, they would quit, and find ways to not work in some ways they would say that's justified in my opinion. But I grew up poor, you feel what I'm saying?
Listen, that is
you know
real.
what I mean? And like my looking at my granddad working, consistently, it made me realize that no one's going to give you anything. You have to go out there and get it.
Yes.
And I'm an introvert, so a lot of times I like real quiet spaces off to myself. But I recognize that's not going to make me or get me where I need to go. So a lot of times I spend a lot of time psyching myself up in the morning, like, who are you? What did you say you were? Say it again.
You're a king, Shem. You're a king.
Right. And then hitting the door,
Yeah. How do you set your goals? You're an introvert. You love the quiet. So I'm an extrovert, and I love quiet space. I think, isn't that crazy? But that's my brain functions off quiet because I just feel like it's me and God.
Right.
And I need clarity on the next thing to do. And how do you set your goals?
in somewhat the same type of space, quiet space. I typically have a pen and pad in front of me somewhere. I have a sketch pad, and I'm typically either sketching something that I like to see happen, or I'm writing it down as affirmations. I DoorDash through a marketing feature of our business, and you spend a lot of time riding by yourself. So a lot of that time is in thought, and I'm visualizing what I wrote down. And I spend a lot of time with introspection where I'm challenging, is this a necessity? Is this a want? Is this a real goal? Is this measurable? Is this a wish? You know what I mean?
That's good.
So yeah, I would spend probably, out of 24 hours of a day, I would spend at least 2 hours in thought about goals from what I've written down. I'll probably spend out of a week, a day writing things down.
Just to get the job done.
Just to get the job done. Because, the thing about affirmations is, if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen,
Yeah, it's not.
And a lot of times when we are writing goals down, sometimes we're writing in relation or in validation of something else that doesn't need to validate the goal. So when we don't get the validation, we lose belief and faith, which eventually takes out the goal, because it takes out the belief factor that keeps the goal going forward.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the word.
So
Chill. I'm
that's
running the
why
lap.
your environment is the quiet space is so important, because when you're in that quiet space and you're writing down those goals, if anybody else is invited in your space, like Big Tony, he has to be in full belief of what you're writing down too, to make these things. If he's like, no, that's not going to happen. I don't see how that's going to happen. It's going to make you self-doubt. Now you've lost why you wrote the goal down in the first place, Yeah, it's real.
Did y'all write that down? I have to watch this interview again. Take notes.
Yeah, for sure.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I really,
Wow.
I see you in some pretty high places.
I would say in 5 years.
I don't know if I see
Hopefully.
you in Spartanburg.
Okay.
I don't know if I see you in Spartanburg. I can see Spartanburg being your home
Right.
still, but I can see you being on the road like
Yeah.
80% of the time.
5 years, you were probably right on. I would see myself as a regional A&R. When I say regional A&R, I would mean like Southeast region.
Yeah.
So where artists, especially coming out of the Carolinas, someone they would go to for music information, marketing expertise. If we want to bubble up out of this particular area, we got to talk to Shem. I can see that happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it's at kind of now, but it'll be very much clarified in 5 years because of consistent work. I see myself as one of the top documenters.
Yes,
In
that
this
part.
area.
Yes, I do see that.
And as hopefully a father by then. Hopefully a father.
Have a little chill.
Hopefully a father. If I don't get one by 41.
Listen.
God said it ain't to be. But listen, I'm calling forth now.
Listen, we're going to have our children at the same time now.
Right.
Okay.
We done put all this work in.
Yes.
And we don't know a lineage.
No, we got to pass this on to
Right.
somebody.
God, let me hold on to things as much as I can. So my man Tim Collins at the lounge, he was like, Shem, you need a child, man. You got so much information in you. You always want to give it to us adults. And we barely be listening.
I can see a little Shem book and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Come here, please.
Yeah, teaching them everything, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna put
All
you
of
on
it.
my daddy's calendar real
Right.
quick.
Most likely, like, man, that was back in the 2020s, man. Nobody want to hear all of that.
But it could still be relevant information, though.
Yeah, definitely be relevant.
Listen, Shem, I don't know what it is about you. You will be a great father, though. I
Thank
know
you.
that.
Thank you.
That baby
Thank
is
you.
gonna love his daddy.
Thank you.
Cause I'm gonna be
it's
like, do you know who your daddy is?
Yeah, that they would be like, yeah, he tried to tell me every day. He tried to tell me. He tell me when he tried to tell me to cut that grass. You know who I am. I'm Shem. You been cutting that grass right now. Hey, you know that would my child would probably be the person that challenged my ego all the time. Because the ego is there. You know what I mean? That's like I said, the hyping up yourself part. Like it is there. So I believe the balance of the universe would be like I'll have somebody just like just gonna bring me all. It's gonna be an earth sign too, probably. It's gonna bring me all the way down here, and I'm going to be like, okay, all right. I remember thinking for 30-something, 40-something years that this was cool.
Yeah.
But this one person that's my genetic offspring is challenging me to think differently. What's wrong with the world?
Yeah. So I do want to ask this question: uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching how marketers mark, like,
Right.
because we do so much in-house,
For sure.
but it's more of trial and error. So no really
Rhyme or reason.
Yeah, just kind of go with the flow with it.
Yeah.
But your marketing techniques are so unique and different.
Yeah.
From all of my other friends or people that we know that market and advertise full time. What makes yours so different from everyone else? Why is it that unique?
I would say my aesthetics are a little different. I come from a certain level of the streets, you know what I mean? So there's always a certain people that I'm talking to most of the time whenever I market. A demographic I think sometimes brands and media wants to leave out. And it's not even racial, I would say. It probably started focusing directly to black people to continue to empower them to think differently, come out of the quote-unquote box, think that you may help create this particular box with your powers. Now push yourself, and then they evolve more into the creative and I would say the undervalued artists. So with me, you know, marketing, you definitely have to know your audience. You know who you're talking to. And it took me a while to curate that particular artist, that particular audience. And once I started understanding who my audience was, then I was able to start noticing the things that appealed to them and introducing our messaging in their voice. You know, introducing our message in their voice. And that created its own unique thing. I have, in my email, I can pull up, it's like all these different companies that have information that send an e-article or tips about, you know, the top things that you need to know about Instagram, top things you need to know about Twitter. And I got a whole folder of those things that I'll go into, and I'll pick up something new and I'll add it to what we do. You know, I'm always trying to stay on the front curve of communication and where things are right now.
And you do that. Okay. I'm about to be a manager real quick. Business owners, managers. You looking for somebody to host your Christmas party? Shemuel.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I did okay.
Great.
I did okay.
That's great.
Because you are a phenomenal host.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have ever seen this man host anything. I'm like glued in. I'm like, this is my friend. And I'm like so glued in. Just all the way down from his head to his toe. You know what I'm talking about? You want to talk about the best dressed host? This guy right here. I would never want to co-host with Shem. I'm going to just let Shem have the stage. I would personally just walk off. Like,
I wouldn't let you do that.
And I'm the entertainer queen. No, Shem, go ahead.
You know, my style of hosting I like is very unique as well. I like people to feel like they're in the room just with me.
But
you feel what I'm saying?
And it is true. But the way that you promote, the way you promote the businesses in the area, I mean, it's literally like you are telling a story about. I've never seen a host do the work that you do.
Right. I appreciate that. That is one of the biggest compliments I could receive in that space outside of, you know, I'm dressing good. That's great. You know, you got to look good to get the eyes on you. You know, that's just a base one. But understanding what we do at display marketing and being able to in real time talk about who's in the room, why they're in the room, and what do they bring in the room, right? And reiterating that to the audience in very informational yet entertaining ways. It's a tough skill, especially like, you know, I'm typically working with in-house people, you know, in times past it's been like Sharon Davis and I've worked with Ron Sutton, like so many different people who were all in-house and we're all learning this thing together. It can be very chaotic behind the scenes. Like, okay, you were supposed to say this at 10:45 and it's like 10:58 and you're like, oh snap, or the DJ's not here at the right time. And sometimes I have to fill in the gaps with my octave and my vocal chords and phrasing, just spending the time phrasing. So, you know, one of the people that I collaborated a lot with was Regis the Mad Artist, and you know, a lot of the symposiums, concerts that he would have, he would book me in tracks. Like that was our pair. You know, tracks would be the DJ, I'll be the MC, and I came from the hip hop circle, so again, I'm always trying to connect to the audience and.
And let's talk about keeping it classy. Seriously, I'm not saying it because he's my friend. I'm telling you, you want a classy host.
Thank you.
Book Shemuel. I'm going to have to be his man.
We're going to have a good time, man. We're going to have a good time.
Oh, my God. I just love everything.
We're going to have a good time.
Yes.
Shout out to Lee Smith, too, man. Lee Smith, he also reaches out to me a lot. When it comes down to, you know, programming, things like that. I would say that our class of yourself, myself, Smith Lee, Adam Black, like, you know, we understand the work of whenever you have a mic or whenever you hit publish, whenever you hit record, you're on record.
Yes, you are.
So know what you're talking about.
You better know what
Be prepared.
Please be prepared. Yes.
Right.
So how can people follow you on social media?
Follow me on Instagram at shemuel.xyz. On Twitter, most definitely at his wokeness. When you go to my Twitter profile, his wokeness, click the link in the bio to my links and all of my information pops up there. You see my LinkedIn, you'll see my Instagram, you'll see my email. You can even call me from there. You see the websites, see the brands that I work with, direct action to those brands. So you take one link, take a trip to, you know, his wokeness on Twitter and rock with me.
Yeah. Okay, before we go, gosh, I don't want to go because we just had a good conversation.
Before we go, this is the season finale of Sophia D.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be here. And since I am here, you guys know me for questioning. Y'all know me for Meet the Innovators, Spaces for Innovation on Twitter, you dig?
Boy.
I could not leave this room without having some questions.
All of these emotions, I thought I could see our love so clear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. All of these emotions, you ask me if I'm in my feelings, yes, my dear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. Fresh out the shower, body so clean. Mind so fresh, thinking about a dream. A woman who can become my queen. And all over the world I would sing her name. We both grown, we ain't got time for the game. So baby, wave goodbye to all them lames. Time in your life to make that change. My love for you, no, it has no range. You have my heart, you have my heart. You have my soul, have my soul. You are a star, you are a star. You made me glow, you made me glow. All of these emotions, yeah. I thought I could see our love was so clear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. All of these emotions, yeah. You ask me if I'm in my feelings, yes, my dear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. It's hard to love who doesn't love you back. I'm out here waiting, baby, tell me where you at. My love for you, no, it has no bounds. Looking for you, shawty, to hold me down. I fell in love when we first locked eyes. I knew I was yours, I thought that you were mine. We out with your friends, hanging with the crowd. I guarantee that's what turned us down. You broke my heart, you broke my heart. You scorned my soul, you scorned my soul. You were a star, you were a star. But not no more, but not no more, no. All of these emotions, yeah. I thought I could see our love was so clear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. All of these emotions, yeah. You ask me if I'm in my feelings, yes, my dear. Ain't no second guessing. Do you feel the same? It's the question. Do you feel the same? It's the question. Do you feel the same? It's the question.